Hi, my name is Janan, and I'm coming to you from the Midwest. I almost said Northwest. And I want to talk to you a little bit about postpartum depression and anxiety. I think it's important to have these conversations because, as women of color, as black women, that sometimes these conversations kind of fall under the wayside because of shame or guilt or combination of both. I remember growing up, always hearing or sometimes hearing stories about, well, Aunt so and so was had a hard time raising their kids, or so and so was having a rough patch, a couple of days or weeks and months. So we never really talked about postpartum depression or really vocalized what it was and what it meant to have postpartum depression. And so going into my pregnancy and postpartum period, I had no idea what it meant to have postpartum depression. Um, when you think of pregnancy and motherhood, it's quote unquote supposed to be the most happiest time of your life. And I remember just not enjoying pregnancy and feeling guilty because I wasn't enjoying my pregnancy, because I know that there are so many people who want to have kids. And so not only was I unhappy because I didn't have control of my body and all these things were happening, I also felt guilty and a little bit of shame because I was having those feelings. And so I had my son, a healthy baby boy, um, and when I had my son, I graduated from a graduate program a couple weeks later. We moved a couple weeks later. So there's all these life changes in the matter of months, right? And it just, when we finally moved, we went to this new place, didn't really have a lot of friends. Actually, I had no friends and didn't have any family members. And so we were kind of alone, basically alone. And so I remember feeling like this kind of this gray cloud. Just to picture this like gray cloud that's always like following you. And I felt this gray cloud, like those gray clouds would be like a day, and the day would turn to weeks, and the weeks would turn to months. Excuse me. And I never felt like telling people about this. And because I felt uncomfortable, I, 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 I told myself, well, I'm an educated woman, and I feel like I'm pretty rational, so I can get through this. Like, I can talk myself through this, and it'll be okay. And it never got better. And I just had these thoughts that I would have, these different thoughts, and every time I would say, you know what, I'm a rational person, and I'm going to get through. And I did, but it just, it wasn't getting better. And so one day I had a physical with my primary care physician, and she screened me for depression, and so found out that she said it was moderate depression. So I said, I'm going to see a therapist. And so I was like, sure, why not? See a therapist. It never hurts to be able to talk to people about your problems. So I did, and it really changed things. And as I'm saying these things, I want you to keep in mind that I am not a licensed professional. If you're having certain thoughts, suicidal thoughts, or thoughts of harming others, to please see your local healthcare provider, or call 911. But in my case, I was able to see a therapist and to talk to them about these thoughts I was having, and it changed everything. It truly did. And my therapist was able to recommend mindfulness and meditation, and eventually I was able to I started taking medication through a psychiatrist, and that's what worked for me. Everyone's different. Obviously, every body is literally different. Every mind is different. But just being able to vocalize it and to put a name to what was going on and talking about it was really liberating for me. And I was having these thoughts and these things, and I told my husband, and I remember how shocked he was about these things I was telling him. And I remember feeling some guilt at the same time, and a little bit of shame, because it wasn't his fault, and it's there's nobody at fault. When you have postpartum depression, it's one of those things where you often don't recognize it until like somebody tells you, or you have some kind of test. But except for me, it just, bad days turned into bad weeks, and bad weeks turned into bad months, and I just felt angry at myself and my son, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. Like, I felt really alone. And that's the thing about motherhood and parenthood, is that you would think that it would be the most that you never feel alone, but like motherhood is one of the most loneliest things ever, especially when you have a child that's crying nonstop, a child that's sick, is pulling at you, tugging at you, and constantly needs your attention, and all you want to do is just sit and watch TV or on your phone, or just do anything but attend to your child. And there was this guilt that I had because I wasn't, quote unquote, one of these, Instagram pregnancy mothers or postpartum mothers who seems to be enjoying their lives with their kids. And this is not to say that I don't love my son, because I feel like it's very rarely the issue that you don't love your child. It's that there are certain dynamics that are going on that need to be attended to, and some people are able to work through it, and some people need extra assistance, and I happen to need extra assistance, and I'm very grateful that I was able to. And not only seeking therapy, but also spiritual assistance, and meditative assistance as well. And so this is all to say that it is important to be able to have these conversations as women, as parents, and to recognize the signs. Everyone is different. Every postpartum depression reveals itself in different ways among different people. But if you can, to please, if possible, to get a depression screening from your primary care physician. And I know that there's often lots of limitations, whether it's financial reasons, whether it's location. I do believe that a lot of cities and counties have free or affordable health care or therapy services, and I hope you're able to reach out and building a community, whether it's just one person or 5 people, is crucial to being able to navigate postpartum depression. I know just past couple weeks I was able to just open up to my girlfriends about what's going on, and being able to really say that, to finally say that, was liberating, because I was embarrassed. I'll be honest, like, I was embarrassed that I was having these emotions, and then it turns out that some of my friends had experienced similar things, and it was a bonding moment, and it's not something we would have ever talked about before, but we did in that moment, and it was really powerful for me and for us. And so I think your first step is vocalizing it, just saying it, to say the word postpartum depression. Postpartum depression. We live in a society, I think, that really, there's just this stigma that's attached to postpartum depression, because we see parents who, heaven forbid, hurt their children, and there's often not a question of, what was going on before this terrible thing happened, and it's, my heart really goes out to women who are struggling through postpartum depression, who don't know who to turn to, and what to say, and who to say it to, because I totally understand those feelings of embarrassment and guilt and shame, because motherhood is supposed to be this wonderful thing, and when it's not, what do you do? What does it mean? Are you a bad mother? Are you a bad person? How do you move forward? And there's always often different stressors that contribute to that as well. I know for me it was school and moving and just feeling alone. And so my message to you is that you're not alone. That I hope that you're able to reach out and to know that to take away the shame, take away the guilt, take away the embarrassment, because there's so many of us out there who've struggled, who are struggling, who are navigating these waters of motherhood, parenthood, and postpartum depression and or anxiety. And so yeah, I hope